Hey there, fellow green thumbs in the making. Ever looked out your window at a patch of grass and thought, you know what? I could turn that into something special? You're in the right place. This is the How To channel, and I'm your guide to transforming that outdoor space into a thriving garden oasis. Let me tell you, that's just a load of compost. Gardening is for everyone, from seasoned veterans to absolute beginners. Whether you've got a sprawling backyard or a sunny windowsill, we're here to break down the process into easy-to-follow steps. So grab your gloves, your shovels, and maybe a cool drink, because we're about to dig into the wonderful world of gardening. Get ready to experience the joy of nurturing life from a tiny seed to a bountiful harvest. This is more than just dirt and plants, folks. It's about creating something beautiful and delicious with your own two hands. Now, before we get our hands dirty, literally, let's talk about why you should even bother with a garden in the first place. Sure, fresh veggies and vibrant flowers are great, but the benefits of gardening go way beyond the aesthetic. Gardening is good for the soul. It's a chance to reconnect with nature, escape the daily grind, and find peace and tranquility in the great outdoors. Plus, there's nothing quite as satisfying as harvesting your own food, knowing exactly where it came from and how it was grown. Gardening is also a fantastic way to get some exercise and soak up some vitamin D. So, whether you're looking to improve your health, your well-being, or the planet, gardening is a rewarding and fulfilling endeavor. Are you ready to unleash your inner gardener? I thought so. Throughout this video, we'll cover everything you need to know to get your garden started and thriving. From choosing the perfect location and selecting the right plants to preparing the soil, planting your seedlings, and keeping those plants happy and healthy, we've got you covered. We'll also be sharing some pro tips and tricks along the way to help you avoid common gardening mistakes and ensure your garden flourishes. So what are you waiting for? Hit that like button, subscribe to the How To channel for more awesome tips and tricks, and let's get this garden growing. All right, budding gardeners, let's talk real estate. Finding the perfect spot for your garden is crucial. You wouldn't want to live in a place with no sunlight or constant flooding, right? Your plants don't either. First things first, assess your available space. Do you have a sprawling backyard, a cozy balcony, or just a sunny windowsill? No worries, there's a garden solution for every space. Most vegetables and flowering plants need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day. Don't fret if you've got a shady spot. There are plenty of shade-tolerant plants that thrive in low-light conditions. The key takeaway here is to choose a location that provides the right amount of sunlight for the types of plants you want to grow. Now let's dive a little deeper into the sunshine situation. We know plants need sunlight, but did you know there are different types of sunlight? Direct sunlight is ideal for most vegetables and sun-loving flowers. Then we have partial shade, which means your garden gets a mix of direct sunlight and shade throughout the day. And finally, we have full shade, which usually means your garden receives dappled sunlight filtered through trees or structures. Remember, observing your space throughout the day is key to determining the type of sunlight it receives. This will help you choose the right plants for your specific light conditions and set your garden up for success. All right, now that we've got the sunlight situation sorted, let's talk about where your plants will actually grow. Will it be a traditional in-ground garden, or are you leaning towards the flexibility of container gardening? Both have their perks. In-ground gardens offer that classic sprawling garden aesthetic and tend to be less maintenance when it comes to watering. Container gardening is perfect for those with limited space or who want to add a touch of green to their balconies, patios, or even indoor spaces. It's incredibly versatile. You can use pots, planters, hanging baskets. The possibilities are endless. Ultimately, the choice between in-ground and container gardening depends on your personal preference, available space, and the types of plants you want to grow. Now for the fun part, choosing the stars of your garden show. But hold your horses before you sprint to the garden center with a twinkle in your eye. Selecting the right plants is about more than just picking what looks pretty. First and foremost, Consider your local climate and growing season. Some plants thrive in warm, humid environments, while others prefer cooler temperatures. Next, think about the size and growth habits of your chosen plants. Spacing is key to ensuring all your plants have enough room to grow and thrive. Finally, let's talk about plant compatibility. This concept is called companion planting, and it's all about pairing plants that benefit each other. Picking the right plants is all about research, planning, and a little bit of intuition. Don't be afraid to experiment and see what works best in your garden. All right, fellow gardeners, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the soil. Healthy soil is the foundation for a thriving garden. Think of soil as a living ecosystem teeming with beneficial microorganisms, earthworms, and organic matter. These little guys break down organic material, improve soil structure, and make nutrients available to your plants. Now, not all soil is created equal. You've got clay soil, which is dense and heavy, sandy soil, which drains quickly, and loamy soil, the holy grail of garden soils. Knowing your soil type is key to understanding its strengths and weaknesses. Even if you weren't blessed with perfect loamy soil, there are ways to improve what you've got. Good soil equals happy plants, and happy plants equal a bountiful harvest. Before you go adding a buffet of amendments to your soil, hold your horses. Just like you wouldn't prescribe medication without a proper diagnosis, you don't want to amend your soil blindly. That's where soil testing comes in, my friends. It's like giving your soil a checkup. Soil testing kits are readily available at garden centers and online, and they're super easy to use. You simply collect a sample of your soil, following the kit's instructions, and send it off to a lab for analysis. The results will tell you your soil's pH level, which indicates its acidity or alkalinity, as well as the levels of essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Knowing your soil's pH and nutrient content is crucial because different plants thrive in different conditions. Soil testing takes the guesswork out of the equation and allows you to tailor your amendments precisely to your soil's needs. All right, now that you've got the lowdown on your soil's composition, thanks to that handy-dandy soil test, it's time to give it a boost. Think of soil amendments as vitamins and supplements for your garden. They replenish nutrients, improve soil structure, and create an optimal environment for your plants to thrive. There's a whole smorgasbord of soil amendments out there, each with its own unique benefits. Compost, which we'll delve into deeper in the next section, is like black gold for your garden, adding a wealth of nutrients and improving soil structure. The key is to choose amendments that address your soil's specific needs based on your soil test results. Remember, adding amendments is not a one-time deal. It's an ongoing process. Regularly amending your soil ensures your plants have access to the nutrients they need to flourish year after year. All right, folks, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, compost. Compost is like black gold for your garden. It's nature's way of recycling, turning kitchen scraps and yard waste into a nutrient-rich feast for your plants. Creating compost is easier than you might think. You need a designated compost bin or pile where you layer brown materials like dried leaves, twigs, and shredded paper with green materials like fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and grass clippings. The key is to maintain a good balance of these materials, along with adequate moisture and aeration. As the materials break down, they transform into a dark, crumbly substance that's chock full of nutrients and beneficial microorganisms. Composting reduces waste and minimizes your environmental impact. It's a win-win. All right, now that you've got your soil in tip-top shape, it's time to prep those planting beds and create a paradise for your plants to call home. If you're starting with a new garden bed, the first step is to clear the area of any existing vegetation, rocks, or debris. Next, it's time to loosen the soil using a garden fork or tiller. This improves drainage and aeration, allowing those plant roots to spread their wings. Once the soil is loosened, it's time to add a layer of that beautiful compost we talked about earlier. Spread it evenly over the surface of the bed and gently work it into the top few inches of soil. Now stand back and admire your handiwork. you've created a welcoming haven for your plants to thrive. All right, Green Thumbs, it's showtime. Time to turn those tiny seeds into thriving plants. Starting seeds indoors gives them a head start and protects them from those unpredictable spring weather swings. You'll need some seed starting trays or pots, seed starting mix, and of course, your seeds. Choose a sunny windowsill or set up a grow light to provide those little sprouts with the energy they need to flourish. Follow the instructions on the seed packet for planting depth and spacing. Once your seeds are planted, water them gently using a spray bottle or a watering can with a fine rose. Keep the soil consistently moist but not soggy, and watch those little green miracles emerge. Transplanting. Moving day for your plants. Your seedlings have sprouted and are ready for their big debut outdoors. Transplanting is delicate. We want to avoid shock. Harden them off by gradually acclimating them. Introduce them to the outdoors for a few hours each day. Transplant on a cloudy day or late afternoon. Dig a hole slightly larger than the root ball. Gently remove the seedling, avoiding root damage. Place it at the same depth as in its container. Backfill with soil and firm it around the base. Water thoroughly to help them settle in. Section 3. Watering wisdom, quenching your plant's thirst. Water everywhere, but how much is enough? Watering is crucial. Underwatering wilts plants, overwatering causes root rot. Water deeply and less frequently. Water thoroughly a couple of times a week. This encourages deeper root growth. Stick your finger into the soil. If dry, water. Water in the early morning to avoid evaporation. Section 4. Feeding frenzy, nourishing your garden. Just like us, plants need a balanced diet to thrive, and that's where fertilizers come in. Think of fertilizers as vitamins for your garden, providing those essential nutrients that might be lacking in the soil. There are 3 main types of fertilizers: granular, liquid, and slow release. Granular fertilizers are sprinkled around the base of your plants and release nutrients gradually as you water. Liquid fertilizers are mixed with water and applied directly to the soil or foliage. Slow-release fertilizers, as the name suggests, release nutrients slowly over an extended period. The type of fertilizer you choose depends on your plant's needs and your personal preference. Always follow the instructions on the fertilizer package carefully, as over-fertilizing can be just as harmful as under-fertilizing. Remember, the best way to determine your garden's specific nutrient requirements is to conduct a soil test. This will tell you exactly which nutrients are lacking and allow you to choose the most appropriate fertilizer for your garden's needs. Section 5. Mulch magic, protecting and enhancing your soil. All right, folks, let's talk about mulch. It might not be the most glamorous gardening task, but trust me, mulching is like giving your garden a big warm hug. It's one of the simplest yet most effective ways to protect and enhance your soil. Mulch acts as a protective barrier between the soil and the elements, helping to retain moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. It's like a cozy blanket for your garden beds. There are tons of different mulch materials available, from shredded bark and wood chips to straw, grass clippings, and even cocoa bean hulls, which smell amazing, by the way. Choose a mulch that complements your garden's style and provides the benefits you're looking for. When applying mulch, aim for a layer about 2 to 3 inches deep, being careful not to pile it up against the base of your plants. This will allow for proper air circulation and prevent rot. Reapply mulch as needed throughout the growing season to maintain that protective layer. Water woes, too much or too little. Overwatering and underwatering are common mistakes. Both can wreak havoc on your plants. Underwatering means your plants aren't getting enough water. Signs include wilting leaves, dry soil, and stunted growth. A good soaking usually helps. Overwatering is sneakier. It suffocates roots and causes root rot. Symptoms mimic underwatering, wilting, yellowing, stunted growth. Check the soil. If it's wet below the surface, hold off on watering. Overwatering can be fatal. Most plants prefer being a little dry. Section 2. Fertilizer faux pas. Finding the right balance. Fertilizers are like vitamins for your garden, but just like with human vitamins, too much of a good thing can be harmful. Over-fertilizing is a common gardening mistake, and it can lead to a whole host of problems. When you over-fertilize, you're essentially force-feeding your plants with more nutrients than they can absorb. This can lead to nutrient burn, where the excess salts in the fertilizer damage those delicate plant roots. Symptoms of fertilizer burn include browning leaf tips, wilting leaves, and stunted growth. Under-fertilizing, on the other hand, leaves your plants lacking the nutrients they need to thrive. You might notice slow growth, pale leaves, and reduced flowering or fruiting. It's like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach. The key to finding the right fertilizer balance is to start with a soil test. This will tell you exactly what nutrients your soil is lacking and allow you to choose the most appropriate fertilizer for your garden's needs. Remember, less is often more when it comes to fertilizer. Section 3. Pest problems. Identifying and addressing unwanted visitors. Ah, pests. Those pesky critters that love to munch on our beloved plants. The first step to managing pests is to identify what you're dealing with. Common pests include aphids, slugs and snails, and caterpillars. Once identified, explore control methods, hand-picking pests, spraying them off with water, and introducing beneficial insects. Organic pesticides like neem oil are also effective. Keep your garden clean to prevent pests. Section 4. Disease dilemmas. Keeping your plants healthy. Plants can fall victim to diseases, which can quickly spread if left unchecked. But don't worry, knowledge is power. Identify and address common plant diseases to keep your garden thriving. Powdery mildew appears as a white powdery coating on leaves and stems. It's caused by high humidity and poor air circulation. Preventing diseases is easier than treating them. Choose disease-resistant plant varieties and practice good garden hygiene. Proper watering techniques can help prevent fungal diseases. Use organic fungicides or remove infected parts if needed. Early detection is key. Regularly inspect your plants for any signs of disease. The joys of a thriving garden. We've covered a lot in this gardening journey, from choosing a location and picking out plants to soil amendments and watering wisdom and battling pests and diseases. I'm proud of you. You've embraced the learning curve and nurtured life with your own hands. Now, admire the fruits and flowers of your labor and remember that feeling of accomplishment. That's the magic of gardening. It's about more than just the end product. Though a juicy tomato or vibrant bouquet is satisfying, it's about the journey, the connection with nature, and the peace found in the rhythm of the seasons. That's what gardening is all about. Section 2. Keep growing, friends. A call to action. As we wrap up this gardening adventure, I want to leave you with one final thought. Keep growing, friends. Your gardening journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's just the beginning. Each season brings new challenges and rewards, new plants to discover, and new techniques to master. Embrace the learning process. Don't be afraid to experiment, and most importantly, have fun. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. There will be triumphs and setbacks, bumper crops, and unexpected pests, but through it all, you'll gain knowledge, experience, and a deeper appreciation for the natural world. And hey, if you ever find yourself with a gardening question or just need a little inspiration, you know where to find me. Hit that subscribe button below to stay updated on all the latest tips and tricks from the How To channel, and be sure to share your gardening journey with us in the comments. Until next time, happy gardening.